talking about journeys, destinations, culture, adventure, gear, conservation, and all the things we haven't yet thought of. This episode is brought to you by Sunwear Solar Technology, a premium manufacturer of fixed and portable solar panels for overlanding vehicles and marine applications. Designed and manufactured in Germany, Sunwear panels are tested under the harshest environmental conditions to ensure rugged reliability for years to come. Trust Sunwear for your solar energy needs, no matter where your adventures take you. Check out their website at sunwear.solar. You'll find the link in the description below. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to the At Overland Europe podcast. Today, I'm joined by Sherri Jo Wilkins. Born in the US, moved to Australia, travelled the world for 3.5 years on a motorbike, then went back to Australia and moved into her Toyota before exchanging that for a van in Europe. Now, she's swapped 4 wheels for 3 and is about to continue her round-the-world tour on a recently acquired BMW together with Cody, her dog, in the sidecar. Welcome, Sherri.
Thank you very much.
So, it's great to have you here. You've been traveling a lot. We've done an article together in the past as well, but you've sort of come around the world in the sense that you were born in the US and then at some stage you moved to Australia. You've done a world tour. So let's begin with the US and how you made your move.
Well, I was addicted to the Travel Channel at the time. And this was many, many, many years ago. And I worked for a family business and we only had 1 or 2 weeks of vacation every year. But when I was home on Sundays cleaning my house, I watched the Travel Channel and loved every country. And I felt like I'd been to these countries. I'm like, oh, how can I see them myself? And so the Travel Channel was canceled in my area in Indiana, where I'm born. And so then I wrote to a couple of my favorite shows asking if I could buy their CDs or DVDs or whatever they were at the time. And one of the shows wrote back, and the particular male star of the show invited me to Australia.
Okay.
And then we ended up, he brought me to Australia for a visit. He invited me to come back and make film documentaries with him for his next set of series for the Travel Channel. So I did that. And that was in the year 1999 and 2000. And so eventually we got into a relationship, and eventually I sold my house in America and moved over there. And, we were together on and off for 7 years. And then I was on my own. I bought my own house over there. And so that sort of became my own base, regardless of who I was with or by myself.
Okay. And that's quite a leap, though, because what was your family business in the US?
It's still there. It's construction. So we did guttering, actually, aluminium guttering for houses. And my brother runs it now. At the time, my mom and dad were still alive. So they were running it then. Okay.
The business had nothing to do with travel. Travel is sort of in your genes somewhere.
Yeah. My mom says I was born the wild child. So I'm the middle of 3, and my brother and my sister still live within a few kilometers of where we were born and where our family homes are. So not a huge desire to travel. And there's nothing different the way I was raised that they were raised. So it must be born that way.
Incredible. So when you went to Australia, I suppose, having come from the guttering business into film, I mean, that's like a huge step as well.
Well, it's just, I always had the dream, as as I just said. So it's like, I took a massive risk by accepting this man's invitation, because even though I knew him, I watched him every Sunday on TV. He didn't know me. And I wasn't like, chasing him or in love with him or anything. I literally just was fascinated about the travel and adventure aspect of things. So it was pretty naive of me to do it, but regardless, it got me out of the norm, I would say, the normal American life, where I went to school, I graduated. You don't go and take a gap year like they do in Australia. You actually just get straight to work, get the house, get the car, get the white picket fence, and that's life, right? Yeah, that is exactly the life that my brother and sister are living, but it's just not natural for me. So
not you.
Yeah.
So, okay, you arrived in Australia. That's a wonderful part of the world as well. So I guess you were off exploring fairly quickly, I would have thought.
Yeah, well, from the moment he brought me over, we were exploring Australia, and then he had a 42-foot catamaran. So we were sailing around the islands, and Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, those areas. And then we had a farm in South Australia. So it was in a remote area attached to a national park. So I had national park type environment outside my windows. And then eventually I was, bought my own house in town. So that was probably what then, how should I say? I loved my life. I loved my job. I loved my house. And I just got bored. And I think that once I had that travel bug from our adventure on the boat and around Australia and all that, like a real adventure, not just like a backpacking trip or not just like a 2-week vacation. It was like real adventure, right? And one day in my house, there was a young 16-year-old girl named Jessica Watson, who was the youngest Australian female to sail solo around the world in her little sailboat. And when she arrived back in Sydney Harbor in her little pink sailboat, and the whole of Australia must have just been cheering her on, watching on TV. And I got emotional, and I wouldn't call myself a pretty emotional person, but I was just like, good, how good, how amazing. I was just so proud of her. And I thought, wait a minute, she's 16 and she's living a life of adventure on her own. Why can't I be doing that? So that's when the idea to travel around the world solo was born in my mind anyway.
Incredible. Had you ridden a bike before that? Because you had one in the US. Okay.
Just for a short time, I had, now don't laugh at me, I had a Harley Davidson 883, a Sportster. So I had my motorcycle license, and it was only like, it was the yuppie crowd. It was just like running from in America, we don't call them pubs, but, they would just basically a social thing. It wasn't like real riding or travel. And it was just a phase. It didn't last long. I sold it, but the MC on my driver's license in America transferred to my Australian driver's license. And I was like, wow, it had been more than 15 years since I'd ridden a motorcycle, but I've got a license. Which worked when I needed to buy a motorcycle to travel the world with.
That's true. So you then decided, right, you're going to do solo travel. You're going to do it on 2 wheels. What made you choose the bike you chose?
Oh, just a lot of research. I had not heard of the ones I was looking at. The only one I had heard of was the BMW 650 GS. And there was one lady, there's only one lady I found online who had done it before, and that's what she wrote. And I was like, okay, well and she talked highly of it. I'm like, that's what I'll just go get one of those, And I went to the BMW shop in Adelaide, South Australia, and I took a test ride. And on my way back to the dealership, I couldn't get the gear into first. It was like I was taking off in traffic in a corner, and I just slammed it down just to put it in the first, and I knocked myself over in the middle of the intersection. And I ripped off the turn signals. I put a big scrape in this brand new bike. And I was like, okay, this bike mustn't be for me. And I was like, what am I going to say to the salesman? And when I went in there, he was so nice. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I've got to show you what I did to your bike. Oh my God. And he came outside, and he's just like, looked up in the sky, and he looked down at the dirt, and he said, look, the sky hasn't fallen in. It's not the end of the world. That's what insurance is for. It's okay. I'm like, wow. But what it did do is I was like, you better research other bikes. And so in Adelaide, there wasn't like the whole array of choices, but I found the KTM 690 because it was a similar power. And believe me, I couldn't talk intelligently about what CCs were, but it was similar to the BMW 650. And then there was an Aprilia and a Yamaha Tenere. And I went to see the Yamaha, and it was just way too heavy, way too tall and heavy. I'm 5'9", but it still felt way too tall and heavy for me. And I ended up choosing the KTM 690 because it was a single cylinder, lightweight, and I could pick it up it was still tall, but it was light. So if I put it down, and granted, I didn't do that in the shop, but I was like, I think I could pick this up by myself. And yeah, so that's how I chose it, by weight alone.
Amazing. And then you kitted it out. And how long between buying it and disappearing, how much time did you have to get ready for your trip?
6 months.
Okay. I mean, it's a big step. How did you feel about leaving, let's say, the security of home and then going off on your own?
I would say I wasn't worried about it, only because I'd already transferred to the other side of the world before. So I don't think I was scared about leaving home at all. When I did have what I guess I sort of might label as a panic attack was probably about a month before I was about to go. And I was still working and I was training somebody to do my job and I was preparing my house to be rented out. So I had to figure out where to move everything, how to pack all my belongings. And then I was trying to figure out, what do I need for gear? Which tent should I buy? And, everything about the motorcycle. And then I was trying to figure out my routes around the world. And I was trying to figure out, well, how do I get all these visas? And, they want to know when you apply for a visa, what day you're going to enter and what day you're going to leave. I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I can't. Yeah, it's just like, and as you know, with Russia was one of the first countries, and I had to send my passport to them to Sydney, and then wait for an invitation, and then wait for my passport to come back. Like, it was all really nerve wracking. And this one day, I sort of got overloaded. And I called my friend Claire, and she answered the phone, and I couldn't get anything out of my mouth, but she knew it was me on the phone. And she's like, just breathe. Like, she was just so intuitive, and she's like, just breathe. And I started breathing, and I got really emotional. I can't do it. I can't do it. and I still couldn't really talk. And she said, Sherri Jo, just hang up the phone. I'm coming over. And so she came over and sat with me, made a cup of tea, and she said, look, the only person who's putting this pressure on you is you. And you have to maybe take little bites, not the entire world. Why don't you break it up into sections? Why don't you tell yourself, I'll give this 3 months, and if it doesn't work out, you can come home. Or maybe just plan your first 3 months, and then when you hit the 3-month mark, plan your next 3 months. But what you're doing is you're trying to plan the entire world, and it's breaking you down. So she was so right about that. After she left, I could breathe again. And everything, like, that was all I needed. I needed somebody to tell me to take baby steps. I was just trying to do too much.
That's pretty damn solid advice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm still grateful to her for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you said a moment ago that sort of not Australia, Russia was one of your first ports of call.
Yeah.
How did you set off? I mean, obviously, Australia is a huge island, in effect. What were the first steps?
I set off, well, do you know where Adelaide is?
Well, yes.
No. Okay. Okay. Well, Adelaide is in the middle of the south of Australia, so right at the bottom in the middle. And I couldn't just ship directly out of Adelaide. There just wasn't possible. So I could go east to Melbourne, which was a 12-hour ride, or I could go west to Perth, which is a 4-day drive. Those are my next cities. And I chose to go to Perth because that gave me an opportunity to figure out how to set the tent up. It gave me an opportunity to test things that I'd bought that I was supposedly going to have to live with. And I'm glad I made that decision, because once I got to Perth, I shipped a whole box of stuff home and lightened my load. So that's where I set off from. And I got a flight to Tokyo, Japan. So both me and the motorcycle were on the same flight. And from Tokyo, from Japan, then I went to South Korea. And from South Korea, we took a ferry to Vladivostok, Russia, and then up to Magadan, and then started west from there. So basically, it was from Australia, it was up and then west.
Very cool. It's interesting because, as you said a moment ago, sort of you took a 4-day trip to suss out if you had everything. And I think what's very true is you found out very quickly you had far too much and probably the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
So that was a very wise decision for several reasons then.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'll take that little bit.
So your world trip took you, best part of 3 years, didn't it?
3.5 years, but I don't want to say that it took that long. I planned for 18 months and I knew I could get around quicker than that, but I planned for 18 months. And when you come out of like a working lifestyle, you have like an 8 or 10 hour workday. I was treating my ride that way. So I was literally just going every day, go home, have dinner, go to bed, get up and riding every day, go home, and I wasn't literally spending time and getting to know these places that I could see through my helmet. And so I forced myself to slow down. So I took 3.5 years because I wanted to go slower.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did. I learned a lot more that way.
I'm sure, because there's always the risk that you set a goal to be in a place at a certain time and just focus on that and miss everything which is going along around you at the time. Your sort of life journey as a traveler has moved quite considerably as well, because you started off, let's say, on the bike.
Yeah.
And then when you got back home, Australia, you at some stage shifted to 4 wheels. How and why?
The same reason, I believe. I got bored. So I think that there was a tiny adventure in between. So I was back at full-time work and I love working. I don't hate working, but I just same house, same car, same lunch every day. It's just easy to get bored for me. And so what I did is I bought a little house in a remote location of Australia and moved down there for the adventure of living in this remote, beautiful location on the ocean. And it's quite a popular holiday destination, but it's too far, like it's far enough, but it's mostly holiday homes. And so I set myself up in a little house there and I made a little Airbnb out of it. And the Airbnb was going really well. And then COVID came along and house prices doubled. So I thought I could keep running this Airbnb for the next 28 to 30 years to make the same amount of money I was just about to make by selling the house. So I was like, let's just save some time, sell a house, buy a motorhome. And so I wanted to, when I took a trip around Australia on the motorbike, I was inspired by these 4-wheel drives because so much of Australia needs a 4-wheel drive to get through. And I thought, I'd like to, I was just really attracted to them when I was riding the motorbike, especially when I was up in the Northern Territory and it was 38, 40 degrees on the bike. And it's like a hot blow dryer on you. And you just can't, there's not enough water to wet down your motorcycle gear, to keep cool. And I was like, man, this is hard stuff. And it's all sand. And I was so proud of myself for getting through all this really, really deep sand, like really hardcore riding. And I'm like, okay, I feel like I've accomplished what I needed to accomplish on 2 wheels. And I can't believe I haven't either died or broken something. And I'm like, I literally said this to myself, you've pushed yourself to the limit and it's not fair that you haven't had a major injury or crash. And so I thought, I would like to try the 4-wheel drive. And so that's why I got the 4-wheel drive. And it was so much fun. I just loved it. I loved it. Yeah.
I suppose, amongst others, it gives you the opportunity to carry more stuff with you as well.
Yeah.
But let me ask you sort of a question in between. What job do you normally do if you're not traveling? And is it a sort of a job you can do while you're traveling? I suppose that's the question.
No, it wasn't. So I was working for a builder, and because I have a construction background, and I was a sales representative for new homes. So I'd help people design new houses, not as I wasn't doing the architectural stuff, just like what they wanted to change in a model and then selling the houses. And that was a commission only job, but it can't be done remotely because the people that you need to meet face to face and on site and measure things on site, all those things. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now you're in your 4-wheel drive camper. And you've had some exciting times in that as well. I cast my mind back to the article where you had your flat tires and more flat tires than you had spares.
That's right. Oh, that was a long time ago. Yeah, I got really lucky with my journey around the world on a motorbike. I had one flat the entire world. And then I buy a brand new four-wheel drive that has brand new tires, big, beefy, like stocky four-wheel drive tires. And regardless, I still did my research. I knew I was going down the Birdsville track, which is world renowned for being difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to. I did because COVID had the borders closed in the other states. I literally had no choice. I had to do it. And I talked to the four-wheel drive trainer, a man who trains people, and I said, what should my tire pressure be? He knew the motorhome and the weight of the motorhome. He said it needs to be this and this. I talked to the manufacturer of the motorhome. I said, what do my tire and they matched up. I'm like, okay. So as soon as I hit that track, I lowered the tire pressures to exactly what they said. Still got 2 flat tires.
That must be pretty devastating, though. First time out and things go wrong.
Yeah, I wasn't devastated and I wasn't upset. I thought it was kind of funny, really. But what I found funny, it sounds kind of flippant to say that, but what I found funny was that I purchased, being so prepared, I purchased these tire pressure monitors. And then there's this little thing on my dashboard that shows me the pressure and the heat of, the temperature of the tire. I was like so prepared. And it started beeping. It goes beep, 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 beep. And you just watch the pressure go ding, 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 ding. And I remember reaching for the tire pressure monitor on the dash. And I'm like, stop, Side. I was trying to get Yeah. And then you get I got out of the it was a Toyota Hilux. It was the base of it. And I got out of the car, and if you know anything about the middle of Australia, it's just flat. It's only sand and rock. And you look any direction, there's nothing. And I'm like, okay, well, now is an opportunity for me to learn how to change a tire. So I got out my owner's manual. I found the tools were exactly where the manual said it was. And I started jacking things up.
But how did you sort of get around the problem then of, 2 flats, you only had 1 spare, correct?
Oh, this is how the angels work. This is how the world works. When I got the second flat, the first flat, you could put your fist through it. It was such a big hole, you could put your fist through it. That was bad. And then the spare tire, or the second flat, had a smaller hole that could be repaired. And just when I was so prepared, I took a 4-wheel drive tire repair kit.
There you go.
And this, he was a drover. He was an Aboriginal man who was delivering a whole trailer full of motorbikes for the other drovers. And he pulled over and helped me. And he said, oh, and he's looking at it. He's like, oh, and I was like, but I've got this tire repair kit. He's like, perfect. He got straight to work and he plugged it up. He had an air compressor in his truck and pumped it right back up. And this man was so lovely. He followed me all the way the rest down the track. He says, I'm just going to make sure you get safely out of here. And he just slowly behind me all the way. It was just, and I was like, please, let's go get a meal. Let's go get beers. What can I get you? And he says, no, I just need to go home to my wife. I just wanted to make sure you're okay.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah.
But those are sort of I wouldn't even say they're rare, but they're the special occasions when you're traveling, the people you meet. Mm. Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So from that, and also from your previous travels, you probably have a short list of kit which you would never leave home without, don't you?
Yeah, I suppose. I've got my spot tracker for my emergency button, which I've never had to use. Knocking on wood. GPS has been a contention, but I don't know. Good riding gear. I would say when it comes to motorbikes, I've fallen over enough to know that if you have good riding gear, you can fall over as much as you need. Everything's going to be okay. Yeah. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that before I left.
Living and learning. Incredible. Yeah. So did you only use your Toyota in Australia, or did you also travel with it? Travel outside the country?
I wanted to. My original idea was to bring the 4-wheel drive to Africa and to Europe. Mm-hmm. And I just couldn't work out the logistics of it. The cost of it was insane. And my motorhome was 3.1 meters high, which was too high for a shipping container, which meant it was going to be roll on, roll off, and no direct line anywhere. Everything goes from Australia up to Asia and then ships out to whatever country from there. And they were going to be driving my vehicle and changing ships, and it was almost guaranteed to be damaged. But that's okay. That's what insurance is for, right? But the cost of the insurance based on the value of the vehicle, plus it was right-hand drive, and I was going to be mostly living in a left-hand drive world. So I talked to other four-wheel people who traveled the world in four-wheel drives, and they kindly just said, like, if you can, driving solo, if you had a second person, the right-hand drive might be okay, but driving solo, you should really consider selling it and buying something left-hand drive.
Okay.
And so that's why I made the decisions. Like, look, my motorhome is still in great condition. I could sell it, and which I did, and I sold it at a very good price. And then I bought one in Germany.
Huh. Okay. So where's that now?
Well, I've sold that now too.
Okay. So you sold that then to move on to what you've got now, which is you're back on a motorcycle, but with a sidecar.
Exactly. The four-wheel drive and the adventure lifestyle in Australia was great fun. But when I got to Europe, I've been told to many people that there's really not much four-wheel drive that you could do in Europe. Everything's paved. And so I'm like, okay, I couldn't find a four-wheel drive that I liked. And so I settled for a camper van that was two-wheel drive. And it just wasn't my vibe. Like, this camper van lifestyle in two-wheel drive and just driving, it just wasn't my vibe. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And I just noticed while I was in Europe that I kept coming across and meeting my old motorcycle people I'd met from my previous world trip. And they still had motorcycles, and I was in a camper van, and I would look at them and feel jealous. And I was like, why am I in this camper van? I don't enjoy it. Like, I really don't enjoy it. What should I do? What should I do? And as you know, I've got a dog. And so I didn't want to get a sidecar because I was worried about, like, I know how often I need to go get him food. I know how often to get myself food. How am I going to leave him in the sidecar? You can't take him in a grocery. And I'd be devastated if somebody stole him, or if something happened to him, I'd be devastated. And so I said, no. And then I was just like, you're just going to have to certainly there's a way you can keep him safe when you go to the grocery store. And so I've got a lead that's lockable that, can't be cut through. And that's the plan anyway.
So how far are you prepared now to travel with your new bike and sidecar?
That's an open question. So I don't really know. I feel like I want to see places that I missed on my world tour. Like, I did, how many countries did I do? 49 countries, I think, we're on the world trip. And that means, and there's 195 in the world. So I've missed a lot. So,
Lots to catch up on.
Yeah. So I don't have, like, when I took the journey around the world, I sort of made a mock route, and I sort of made a bit of a plan, not a nightly plan, but as you know, a plan. When I came over to Europe and I bought the camper van, I sort of envisioned 2 years. And then since I'm on the motorbike and I'm loving it and I'm feeling great about it, I'm like, okay, well, I still have a lot of things to work out. Yeah, but what I do know is Scotland and Ireland is a big must for me. So that's where I want to go in spring. And we'll see where we go from there, I suppose.
Yeah. Let me just roll back a little bit then. So you came to Germany, you bought a camper van. Where did you go? What did you do with that? I
went north. So one of my big dreams was to go to Nordkap. I've actually got the shirt on today. I don't know if you can see it, but I've got my Nordkap shirt on. And yeah, so that's where I went, and followed the fjords all the way up very slowly. And there were some really nice places to free camp in Norway. I really enjoyed some beautiful spots there. And then from Nordkapp, I came down through Finland and then did Latvia, Lithuania, Poland. Those countries I also missed on my world tour. So I've taken in some of the countries I missed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What season did you go up to the Nordkapp?
June.
June. Okay.
I just missed midsummer there. I was just a few days after midsummer getting Nordkapp. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's definitely a milestone to get there, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's what makes you feel good about it. Oh, I loved it.
So how long did you have the camper van?
April, May, June, July, August, 5 months.
Okay.
And I think I started researching how to sell it just after I did Nordkapp.
Right. What made you start Europe from Germany?
I could legally buy a vehicle in Germany, and they were left-hand drive. And from my research, I found that the German bureaucracy, the positive side was that if you buy a used vehicle from a dealer, it's quite likely in good condition. And the dealer is required to provide a 1-year warranty on it. Mm-hmm. And so and they have I know in the UK you've got the SMOT, but they have a TUV, the TÜV in Germany. So there's a lot of inspections. There's a lot of reasons why anything that might have been broken had to be fixed in order for them to get their registration. So there was some peace of mind. What I didn't love about it is everything being in a language that I can't understand. But I've used a heck of a lot of ChatGPT. I think ChatGPT has become my best friend. And I can literally just take a photo of something and upload it to ChatGPT. What does this say? And it says, well, what this says, I'm like, thank you.
Beauty of AI, yes.
Yeah. I didn't have that on my previous trip, so I love
it. Big step forwards. So now you're back, as I said, on your bike and sidecar. That's a BMW this time.
Yes, 1150 GS. 25-year-old bike. It's the year 2000, that bike.
Nice. Have you sort of moved around a little bit? I know you're in Austria now. Mm-hmm. So did you buy it also in Germany, or did you buy it somewhere else?
I bought it also in Germany for the same reasons. I knew that it had these inspections, and I needed to sell my camper van in Germany since I bought it there. So that transition was important. But also I had these amazing hosts. They are so good to me. And they're just like, you set yourself up in our house, you take the time that you need to get yourself sorted, sell the camper van, we'll be here, and what a blessing that was, because if I was having to do that from the camper van and then from a hotel, what stress, financially that would have been. Yeah, I just can't be more grateful to that. So it just made it really helpful and easy for me to be in this house, let the camper van go, bring in I had to take a train to go pick up the motorbike and drive it back. But they watched Cody Cowboy while I went to go pick up the motorbike. And then I started setting things up.
I think starting on a motorcycle trip from Germany, you've got all sorts of companies that will sell you kit. Certainly. Mm-hmm. It's a popular place to start a world tour. But this time, we spoke the other day, you're sort of going to first of all head off down to the Iberian Peninsula, aren't you? And then move on from there.
Yeah. So the winter, I'm going to sort of hide out for winter because there's not much you can do on a motorbike, even in the South, because it rains so much. So right now I'm house sitting, and I'll hopefully come up with more house sits. But in the meantime, the accommodation is really quite affordable during winter. And so I'll get myself as south as possible. And then in the spring, my goal is to see Scotland and Ireland, a really big dream for me. Yeah. And then in the middle of the summer, I need to go back to America. My niece is getting married. And then I'll come back, and hopefully by then I'll have a better plan. Maybe some, I don't know what the plan will be, but I'll have a better plan. And I don't know. I'm sort of not loving. I don't know if I should say not loving. I just don't know what to expect. Because I own now a motorcycle that's registered in Germany. I've already done a little bit of research of what that might mean if I wanted to take it to America. If I wanted to then ship the bike over to America and explore more, I think I can. I think it won't be horrible, in cost to do that. but I don't want to predict that's what I'm going to do yet because I'm just not sure. Would it make more sense when that time comes for me to sell that here and buy another one over there if I'm really loving the motorcycle and sidecar with Cody Cowboy? At this stage, yes, I'm very much loving it. I'm so happy. I'm so happy with the change. It's embarrassing that I bought the camper van. To me, it's embarrassing that I made such a horrible mistake. But on the positive, I'm so happy now. You know? So it was a lesson I guess I needed to learn.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a mistake. It's just another stepping stone, isn't it? But you've gone from the KTM having to be pretty sparse with everything you carry around with you, then went on to the camper with the Toyota and then the camper van, which gives you more space. And now you're downsizing again.
Yeah, but I still have more space because I carry stuff in the sidecar.
Yeah.
So Cody's quite heavy. He's 30 kilos. His food is quite heavy. But, you know, it's just, I don't know. I feel like I've sort of set up the motorbike almost exactly like I had the KTM set up because I have 2 panniers. I have the same exact bag that I traveled the world with, not the same exact one, but a new version of it. And I've got a second little bag, which I never did have. And I just got to organize it a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you one thing I brought with me that I didn't have on my trip with the KTM was, you know, one of those little tiny chairs that you could sit in. For the whole daggone world, whenever I stopped to camp, I sat on my pannier, and that lasts for about 10 minutes and it gets uncomfortable. And this time I've got a little chair, which I'm so excited about.
Do you see sort of any challenges with riding a bike in a sidecar? Are there things you're going to have to maybe think differently about? Because, I mean, a bike will go through very narrow spaces.
Yeah, it's been a big learning curve. And it's natural to me now, but it's been difficult to learn. And when I was doing my research, I was really attracted to the Ural with the sidecar. And that particular brand has a reverse function. I thought, I bet you I'm going to need that with all the weight. And I learned that you don't really need it. And advice that I received was that, look, you know, just like with your motorbike, you sort of learn where to park. You sort of learn where you don't need to back out uphill somewhere. You already have that in your brain. So you don't tend to put yourself in those situations to begin with. So, the other thing is that because it has 3 wheels and it doesn't lean, you know, you're not turning, you're not leaning. And how should I put it? That one, it's only the rear tire that drives all 3 wheels. And so when you can feel it, you can feel like how the sidecar affects takeoff and stops and turns. You can feel that. But now that I've done it for a while, it's natural and I know what to expect and I'm prepared for things and I'm prepared for what it's going to feel like. But at first it was like, oh gosh, this is weird. and it's hard. It's like driving a car without power steering, you know, it's just like, you got to push it around. You got to,
That's a nice learning curve, though. I can understand. I can fully appreciate the sort of pulling away with let's say, the drag and the additional push when you're trying to slow down. I have to admit, I've never ridden a bike with a sidecar, so I can offer no advice on that whatsoever.
Oh, it's really it's just like anything. And when you even if just the trade-off between a KTM and a BMW, I knew the sound of my bike. I knew. When I first started, I didn't know anything about anything. But when you travel with something for so long, everything you're aware of. And with this BMW, the sound of it, I'm still not used to. The sound of it, I just keep thinking it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right. I'm like, but it's a completely different motor. It's set up so differently. I have to keep talking myself down. Just wait until something happens. You don't know that it doesn't sound right. And that has nothing to do with the sidecar. That's just trading a KTM for a BMW. You just have to learn it. It's just going to take a while before it becomes normal.
I guess that when you finished your tour, you knew your KTM inside out. Are you doing any kind of preparation for the BMW? I don't know, going off to learn how to repair bits and pieces?
No. I never learned how to repair anything on the KTM either. You know, it's just the one thing that I did was I followed the required service intervals. And I always scheduled that with a KTM shop when I traveled the world. And my bike lasted the world, and it was, it reached a lot of kilometers. And a lot of people said, your bike shouldn't still be going. That bike like that should not still be going. I'm like, yeah, but I have it. I don't change the oil on the side of the road by myself. I pay somebody to do it. All right. And so the BMW will be the same. I'll take care of it, but I'll just follow the instructions. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no doubt about it. They've got a great sort of track record for touring. So you haven't gone wrong there. That's for sure. Yeah.
And that was one of the big reasons why I chose that particular bike and setup. To find a used sidecar setup it's not like there's so many out there. It was easy to choose from. And the Urals were, people were just saying if you're not mechanically inclined, which I'm not, the BMW is probably the better choice for you. So that's
good advice.
Yeah.
All right. Your next steps. I don't know how long are you staying in the house you're in at the moment in Austria?
Yeah, I'm here till the end of November. Okay. And from there, I'm planning to go. Well, I've got 1 week to get to the Atlantic coast. And that has just been, I was working on it again yesterday, just like really using ChatGPT again. Like, okay, if I go through the mountains, there's one road that I can take through even in winter, but there's a snow tire requirement. And like, okay, if I take that mountain pass, I'm required to put snow tires on the bike. And that's a huge expense. So what's my other option? And so I'm just trying to work it all out. Yeah. But that's part of the adventure. That's the fun of it.
Absolutely. Because even then, I mean, so it's only a week or 7 days to get to your next destination. So you're not going to be overstretched, but it's still going to be riding good distances every day.
Yeah, it's 2,500 kilometers. And that doesn't sound horrible. But when you're traveling with limited daylight, most likely rain, and a dog, traveling with him on a sunny day is slower. So traveling with him on a rainy day is really concerning me. So I don't have that experience yet to say what that will be like.
Okay. You won't be overnighting in tents in winter, will you?
I haven't planned. Like I really am trying to just work out how I should go there first. Like how many, it's been really interesting research. Like it's how many kilometers can I do each day with the daylight, and which roads can I take to avoid the winter tire requirement and snow and ice? I mean, even without the requirement, I don't want to be traveling on snow and ice. So once I work that out, I'll start working on where the heck I stay.
You will be spontaneous, I think.
I always am, yeah.
Yeah. South of France, you're going to be going through there. Because you've only got a week, are you still going to be able to take in some of the, let's say, culture and sights on the way?
I would doubt it. Yeah. From what I can tell, I've got to do between 350 and 450 kilometers every day. And yeah, I haven't planned for side excursions. No. Did you have a tip of something I should see there?
I can think of a few things, but as I say, I mean, I think you're going to be quite stretched for time on the way through.
Yeah,
you might have to focus on that though at some stage before you go across to the UK or something. I don't know. No,
absolutely. Like, how should I put it? It's the way I've scheduled myself. I would say when I was here in winter, it was 2010, and I got over the Alps in November. It was almost the same time of year. And when I got into Croatia, it was just raining continuously. So all I did was search out accommodation. Like, it was just miserable riding without a dog, but with a dog. If it is cold rain, and I don't know if you've seen my sidecar, but it's not enclosed. Yeah. Like, I have to keep him warm and dry somehow. And that's my biggest concern, is how to do that. And so I'm sort of imagining that I might have to put this vinyl cover over the top, but I don't know what, that's like putting a dog in a suitcase, and I'm like, that can't work. He's going to want to see things and breathe.
Good start.
So I don't know, Mike. I'm sorry I don't have a plan for that yet.
Don't apologize. These things we make up as we go along.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll work out. That is, as you would know with your world travel and my world travel, like I don't have everything figured out, but it will show itself along the way. Like even when I left on the motorbike from Australia, I hadn't even practiced setting up that tent yet. Like I hadn't, I had to learn everything while I was on the road. Mm-hmm. And I'm doing that again.
Best way, absolutely the best way.
Not the smart. It might not be the smartest choice, but
I don't know. I think you get to meet new people that way as well.
Yeah,
it's all part of the journey. So, what are your sort of, other than the fact you're going to be traveling, you're going to be seeing all the new stuff? Have you got anything else sort of planned? Are you going to be writing a book, or are you going to film it, or what's the plan about the next trip?
Yeah, I did write a book about my previous journey. I've just never been brave enough to publish it. And when I started making a YouTube channel when I left Australia, and I've run into some technical difficulties. So, technology is not my thing. So I will see if I can get some help. And I found some ways where I might get some help putting up some more YouTube videos, but it's not like, how should I say? I'm not that sort of person that's look at me, like look at what I'm doing, look how great I look here, it's just not me. and so I feel like I should be doing it because everybody else is doing it. But then if you really boil it down, it's just like, that's not the purpose for me. The purpose is the experiencing the culture and the location and getting to know the people and being more in the environment rather than trying to show myself off, you know what I mean? Like not in a... I
think that's really good. You don't have to explain it. You're traveling because you want to travel.
Yeah.
Somebody recently said to me, there was some research going on about some of the people who are on YouTube, etc. And they said, well, if you weren't putting it on YouTube, would you still go there? And the answer to that was probably not. You're doing it the other way around. Something which I can respect fully is that you want to travel because you want to travel. You want to learn. You want to see and understand. I think there's so much to see in the world, and it's probably not everybody else's business what you're up to.
Yeah.
So, no, I think it's great. I mean, I like your channel because it's authentic. It's clean, it's sober, great.
Okay. Thank you, Mike.
But having said that, I think we're still going to have to write a story together as you go on your journey. I think because there's still a nice story to be told. And I think it's also important because maybe I'm wrong, but I think what you're doing when you're traveling is you're seeing stuff which is important to the culture you're visiting. And because of where we are today in the 21st century, a lot of what you're seeing probably or might not be there in 10, 15, 20 years' time. So I think there's a sort of an element of recording which we can do there, if you're up for it. Yeah.
And you reminded me by saying that when I was traveling the world before, I had a blog, and I really enjoyed that blog. And I really enjoyed almost daily, I'd finish a ride and I'd go through my photographs and I'd upload them and write the story. And it was pretty much up to date. And when I tried to do the filming and the YouTube thing, it's so complicated for me. Like they say it gets better with practice, and I've been practicing, but I still find it difficult. And I'm just like, man, I just wish I could do the blog, but people don't want blogs. They want video. And so I'm just like in this ball right now. It's like, okay, I'm not doing anything. I'm just traveling. You know? and I don't know, but I did enjoy the blog.
I like the fact that you're traveling because you want to travel and it's for you. So we'll end that chapter there. That's good.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Let me ask you one question. Where are you actually registered in Germany then?
Registered? Oh, for my vehicle?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Rhineland, Westphalia.
Okay.
That's the area. A friend, actually, wonderful friend. I don't, if I can mention his name, Heiko. He traveled around the world on his motorcycle, and when I was in Germany, he's like, "Hey, he's like, now you're in my country, you got to come visit me." And so I am registered at his address. Yeah.
Okay.
And he offered it. Like, I didn't ask for it. He's just like, he's like, you need to have a place. So, like, thank you. That's what we did.
Very cool. That's really good. You're going to be going back there before you disappear then? Or are you leaving from Austria down to
No,
south?
From Austria, I got to go to Spain. Yeah. Eventually I'll have to come back, obviously. Yeah. But in the foreseeable future. Well, what Heiko is just so another, like I told you about the couple that had me in their house, but also Heiko, he arranged for me to get a resident visa. So I don't have to follow the Schengen visa rules. Mm-hmm. And so by his support and him allowing me his address and residency and so forth, and I got a residency approved in, how should I say, they gave me a little card that allows me to stay for 2 years without having to leave due to the Schengen visa. So was that your question? Maybe I wasn't. Yeah.
Sort of.
Sort of. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm so grateful for that, because what a pain I was prepared. I knew about the Schengen visa and I was prepared to make sure I was out every 3 months. But I loved how he put it he's like, no, you don't have to leave every 3 months. I said, yes, I do. There's a Schengen visa. I have to leave every 3 months. He goes, so you're telling me that you've come to our country and you have enough money to support yourself, but our European Union is telling you to leave the European Union and spend your money somewhere else for 3 months before you can come back? I said, yeah. He says, that's BS. And so he got me connected to the council and the people at council who put the visa through. So it's really just amazing. And
good.
That's just the motorcycle community. He's part of the wonderful, there's nothing better. That's where I was just like, why did you buy a camper van? The motorcycle community. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, you're back in the thick of it now, so there's no stopping you. Brilliant. Well, I tell you what, I think we've sort of done quite a lot today. We've talked about where you've been, where you've come from, etc., and where you're going. It'd be good to catch up again in the not too distant future. Let's say when you get down to Spain, Portugal, etc.
Yeah. Okay.
And maybe we can find a way to pick up at different points along your journey. I've no idea how long it's going to last, but I think it would be just great to sort of keep the discussion going as part of the podcast and build on that.
Wow, that'll be fun. Yeah, thank you. That'd be exciting.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, let's call it a day today.
Okay.
And thank you so much for spending, the best part of an hour with me. It's just been great to see you here and to also talk to you. And I look forward to our next discussion.
Me too, Mike. That's great. I really appreciate it.
All right. Well, take care and safe travels.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the At Overland Europe podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and download our app for more adventures and exclusive content. Remember, you can find our guest social media and websites linked in the description below. Until next time, safe travels.